Miss Dutchins, and I'm going to show you how to do Analyzing Poetry Part 1. So this is our unit that we're doing next. So we're doing poetry. At the end of this unit, you will have a final project, just like how you did with the short story unit. In this case, it's going to be like a little portfolio of different poems that you created. So take this as an opportunity to learn about poetry and to also like get a chance to do some poetry in this. These are not poems that are going to end up in your final project unless you want them to. So have fun with them. Don't feel the pressure to like make them amazing unless you like really want to. This is kind of like a doodle version of poetry. So the first thing that you're going to do on slide 2 is you're going to get poem number 1. And the poem is called The Red Wheelbarrow by William Carlos Williams. So the poem is, so much depends upon a red wheelbarrow besides the white chickens. So in this box right here, you're going to tell me, what do you notice about the poem? Like things like, did it rhyme? What about the grammar? Are things capitalized or not capitalized? Does it have a lot of description? Those are the things I'm talking about. I'm not having you like look for like certain poetry techniques. It's just, what do you notice? So don't feel like the pressure, like, I don't know poetry techniques. It can be, like I said, what is the poem about? What's the grammar like? Does it rhyme? So the next thing you're going to do on slide 3 is, this is the specific slide where you're going to tell me, what do you think it means? So you're going to write, what do you think this poem means? And you might have no idea what it means, and that's okay. You can write, I don't know exactly what it means. I think it might have to do with this. Obviously a red wheelbarrow. And so don't feel like super pressure to like be correct in it, because in the next slide, you're going to be able to click here. So I'm going to have to go to present, because remember, you can't click any of those links without being present. I'm going to click that, and it's going to take me to the Red Wheelbarrow, like a poetry where they do a summary and analysis. So you'll be able to read about what it's about and kind of check to see if you're correct in your assignment. So again, the theme, it's just you're giving your best guess and then you're checking to see if you're right. So then it will have you write a found object poem. So the found object poem is, so it's a poem that uses a simple object such as a metaphor for a life lesson. Write a short found object poem about a simple object from your everyday life. So you're going to pick an object, just like they did in the Red Wheelbarrow, and you're going to write a small poem about it. Then what you're going to do on slide, or then after you wrote that poem, what you're going to do on the next one is you're going to read poem number 2. So poem number 2 is by Adelaide Cropsey, and it's a maze. I know not these my hands, and yet I think there was a woman like me once, had hands like these. So again, what do you notice about the poem? Does it rhyme? What do the letters say anything? What is it about? Blah, blah, blah. Then the theme. What do you think the theme of this poem is? What do you think the author is trying to tell the reader? Then again, you are going to be able to click here to read the analysis about maze and find out if your theory about the theme was correct. Then your next poetry writing task is going to be connect to the past poem. I know I've got to move that down, so don't worry about that. Write a short poem in which you connect to the past through an object. So something that makes you think of a memory from the past. That's what this poem is supposed to be about. Now for slide 11, it's just saying, remember this is due tomorrow by 11:59 p.m. So don't you don't have to rush. You can relax. Don't stress. You don't have to get it all done today. For poem 3, this one is a weird one. It's by E.E. Cummings, and it's supposed to look like this. I know it's like super weird, but it's supposed to look like this, and you guys will kind of find out why. So I put down here, it is not a typo. The poem is supposed to look like this because when I first looked at it, I thought it was all messed up, like I messed it up for some reason. So you're going to tell me what you first noticed about the poem. I hope that you all write, like it's written kind of funky. It looks like it's like all falling almost, which kind of gives you a hint on what it's about. So for the theme, you're going to guess what the theme is. And then, again, you're going to click here to see if you're right. And this kind of tells you, like, how that poem looks if you were to put it, like, horizontal. For your poetry writing task 3, you're going to shape poem, which is basically what that was. A shape poem is that takes on the shape that illustrates something about the meaning of the poem. Click here for more examples of shape poems. Write a short shape poem using a shape to help communicate the meaning. So again, you have to hit present in order to click these little like blue links. So I'm going to click here, and it's going to give me examples of shape poems. So for instance, this one right here, down here, if it like loads and lets me scroll. Okay, there we go. So this one right here, it's about stairs. So it looks like stairs. And this one down here, it's talking about a mouse tail. So they're very creative because they make it look like a mouse tail. So this is what I meant by like it's a shape poem. Your poem should look like a shape. Maybe it's a raindrop shape. Maybe it's something like that. But be creative with it. You're just creating a picture. This one I wrote twice, so I will delete that slide so you don't have to do it twice. The next one is poem number 4. This is by Henry David Thoreau, and it says, "My life has been the poem I would have writ, but I could not both live and utter it." So again, what do you notice about the poem? Anything that you notice is okay to write. Theme, what do you think it means? Then again, you click here to see if you're right. Then your last poetry writing task is going to be number 4. It's going to be an ironic poem. So ironic poem, if you guys have ever read The Gift of the Magi, that's an irony. It's when like, so the girl wants to buy her husband a gift, and the husband wants to buy his wife a gift. So she sells her most prized possession, which is her hair, to buy him a watch link, like a little like chain. And so he wants to buy her a gift too. So he ends up, what he does is he sells his watch to buy her this like amazing beret. And so it ends up being ironic because they both ended up selling something that their gift had to do with. So that's an example of irony. Irony is very hard for Americans. Like it's very hard to understand. So if you're having trouble with this one, I definitely recommend looking up like on the internet like just different cases of irony. I would use Gift of the Magi as an example though. And then for this one, directions, explain your poem. You're going to have this after each one of your writing tasks. I know you didn't see it before because I kind of skimmed through it. But it's asking, how is your poem ironic? How did you use irony? Explain. So you'll have that after each of the assignments. After that, you're going to do page 9 in your notebook. So just make sure you click here and it'll take you to your notebook. And then don't forget to hit turn in on Google Classroom, and then you're good to go. If you have any questions, make sure to message me and remind, ask me on a Google Meet, ask me in an email, or ask me in a Google private comment. But thanks for listening.